Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope we're all doing very, very well. Welcome back to another evening show, another late night evening show where we talk about all the latest transfer news and all the latest Chelsea topics as well. We got an update on Dean Huijsen, the Bournemouth centre-back. We also have an update regarding some other transfer targets. The manager as well. We have an update with him. Lots to talk about, plenty to speak about, if I'm honest with you. So, listen, without further ado, let's dive in. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel in another way, you can always become a member of the channel as well. I do want to apologize because I was meant to be doing the lunch stream, but I have felt horrendous. To be honest with you, I still don't feel good. I do not feel good. How do I describe it? We went to a Damac event last night, and that was at Stamford Bridge. For some of you may have seen some stuff to do with that. Anyway, we didn't do anything at the event, but we went out afterwards, and I'm supposed to be 23. I don't know what's going on. My body just can't handle it, honestly. So it's one of those days, but going strong, and I'm going to push through. I did sort of, well, I had to go to sleep, to be honest. I just slept through the lunch show. I had work, and then I got back, and I had about a 3-hour nap. But we are back with some more transfer news. Big up to everyone. We've got over 30 of you in here. Let's get up to 25 likes straight away. I hope you're doing very well, Tom. Yeah, lots of news since I last streamed. Free Young Philly says MCGA. Yeah, what does MCGA mean? I ain't got a clue. Big up to you, Jordan. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, Jordan, for the kind words, mate. Daniel says no more Brighton players. I agree with that. Good to see you in the chat as well, Amir. I'm doing very, very well. Yeah, disappointing for Frank, but I'll be honest with you. I don't really care because my second team is Sunderland. So if I was going to support a team that wasn't Chelsea based on my blood, my family's bloodline, whatever you want to call it, my second team is actually Sunderland. My dad's side is Chelsea, but my mum's side is Sunderland. So I don't really care who won. I mean, I obviously wanted Frank to do well, but at the same time, I want Sunderland to do well. So, yes, a little bit gutted about that. But just on a personal note, Sunderland, if there was one team I would have been okay with beating Coventry, it would have been Sunderland. I just hope they can beat Sheffield as well, because nobody wants to do that trip to Sheffield. It's just it's not a horrible trip. That's not the way I would describe it, but it's just not it's not ideal, is it? It's long. The internet's bad. The train journey's a pain. I can visualize like a Tuesday night or a Monday evening in Sheffield. I just know it. I know they're going to do something like that. So I hope they don't. At least with Sunderland, you know you're going to stay up there regardless. You're not going to mess around, are you? Make Chelsea great again. I see. Yes, Maresca did have some interest from Roma, though I haven't seen the article to do with that. Listen, we're going to address all of the main issues regarding Maresca first. The Telegraph are the ones that came out with this story initially. That was Matt Law speaking about this issue with regards to Maresca. He said Enzo Maresca's future is not on the line over the club's final 3 games of the season, whether or not the club qualifies for the Champions League. It also says Chelsea are aware that Maresca is of interest to other clubs domestically and in Europe, but there is no intention to make another coaching change based on the results of the final 3 games. It also says, while Chelsea will review their season at some stage and look at areas in which they can improve, a full assessment of Maresca's performance is not anticipated to take place until the end of the season. The internal view is that Chelsea have progressed under Enzo Maresca, regardless of their final league position and whether or not they win a trophy. So let's talk about that briefly. Let's talk about the progression, the so-called progression. I'm not going to say anything. Let's have a level-headed conversation about this. Okay, I'm trying to be more level-headed because usually that is me, guys. I'll be honest with you. This season I've been negative Nelly, but anyone who's watched the channel for a long time or seen my stuff for a while, I'm not usually the negative guy. So let's try and break this down. Chelsea have progressed under Enzo Maresca. League form, we will finish on more points most likely than we did under Poch, so that's true. Carabao Cup, we have regressed. FA Cup, we have regressed. Europe, can't really compare that to last season. We weren't in Europe, so that's not really a metric that I can use. Ability to keep players fit and available, better than last season. Ability to keep a large squad happy, or ability to keep the majority of players happy in your squad, I would say worse. I think that, if you look at Nkunku, Joao Felix, Vega, these are all examples of players that were mismanaged. And I do put that down to the manager. I think that the club obviously have something in there as well. But I think that Maresca's been a culprit. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Style of play, a better structure, I guess you could say, but less entertaining football than last year. So there's one good thing, there's one bad thing. You can go back and forth. I'm not going to sit here and say everything is great, everything's bad. There is some positives and there is some negatives. I guess you got the press as well. Don't think either manager really was particularly good in the press. So equally similar in that regard. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. We all knew that he wasn't going to get sacked. So anyone who acts like this isn't a surprise, I don't understand why you are shocked about that. We knew this was going to be the case. This has always been the case. He was given a 5-year contract. Chelsea are talking about the fact that they want to cut back on their costs. Do you think they dish out another 5-year deal and then pay him out straight away after a season? That's clearly a factor, the financial side. I know it's not the ultimate deciding factor, but that it is a factor. So, no, I'm not surprised. I won't even say I'm gutted, to be honest with you. Like, everyone has this thing that I hate Maresca and I want him sacked today. Thing is, who are we going to bring in? Who are we going to bring in? And this is the thing. If you could bring in Iriola, you could... Well, I mean, Ancelotti was on the table, but he was always going to go to Brazil. There's a limited pool of managers out there. There are managers, but why didn't we just take Luis Enrique when he was there? I mean, that would have been the easy option. We chose this manager. So if you're going to stick to your principles, then stick with the guy. This is the thing that annoyed me about last season, was the fact that we chose Poch and then took a step back and decided to sack him straight away. I'm like, if you're going to choose the guy, you're not going to back him. But they are going to back this manager. And look, it really, this should have been one manager beforehand. You should have brought Maresca in. Well, you weren't going to bring him in last season, but you get the point, right? You should have got it right the first time. That we would have already been going into year 3 under a new manager rather than year 2 and still having a lot of doubts, if we're totally honest. But at the same time, seeing that there are things that we can look at. And, there are positives. Of course there are. There are positives. So, no, I'm not going to sit here and say, what's this? Maresca won't hold in the enraging comments next season when the teams are still fighting around mid-table. He thinks he's good at withholding, but he will show himself when next season goes to shit. So you think it will? Why should he be sacked? Well, timing is everything, isn't it? It's not that he should be sacked right now. It's that maybe he should have been sacked when we drew to Ipswich. Maybe he should have been sacked when we drew against Brentford. The timing is everything. So obviously things have died down. But I'm not sitting here advocating for the sacking of Maresca. Everyone knows how I feel. Everyone knows how I feel. And people take the mickey out of me because of this. I just want Chelsea to do well. With this guy or without this guy. Do I appreciate the style of football? Not particularly. Do I find it entertaining? Not really. Do I think it's a yes man? Indeed. And do I think that some of our better players from last season have regressed? I do. I think Palmer's regressed. I think Jackson's regressed. I did a video on that earlier, so you can check that out. I think Gusto's regressed. I think James has regressed. So there's a number of players I think have gotten worse, but there are players who have gotten better. So there's an argument for both sides. And at the end of the season, we will do a number of videos talking about this, or streams, going into detail about everything. Because right now, I just don't feel like over the next couple of games, this shouldn't be about Maresca. It shouldn't be about Maresca. It should be about Chelsea. And we need to just have a little bit of... Can we not just back the team for two games, guys? Can we not just back the team for 2 games? And then see what happens. We'll either beat United or we won't. We'll either beat Forest or we won't. In an ideal world, we beat both of them and we qualify. Everyone's happy. We win the Conference League. In my eyes, it's been a successful season. If we don't do one of those 2 things, in my eyes, it's a failure. And I think it's pretty... I don't really even feel like I need to justify that. If you don't think that Champions League is the level that we need to strive for at this team, based on the fact that we have owners that are motivated by money, we have a young squad that need experience next to them, but we're not willing to spend out of pocket, we need to recoup those funds to then invest. Champions League is the best way of doing that. And then from a Conference League standpoint, I mean, that just goes down to the mentality. That is a competition that is going to be won just based on the mental aspect, because we know we've got a better squad than Betis. We know we have generally better players than Betis. So for me to sit here and say that we could be tactically outclassed by Manuel Pellegrini's side, even if we were tactically outclassed, I'd still expect us to win because we just have more quality. We do. You know, they have Isco, they have Anthony, they're playing well. Okay, no problem. But come on, guys. You know, I was there in Porto, I was there in Baku. I've seen Chelsea rise to the occasion against some big teams. We thrashed Arsenal. We comfortably beat City. I think that it's not asking for too much for me to say that we can try and beat Real Betis. But anyway, that's my view. And I'm going to try and retain that opinion as much as I can. Obviously, we all have moments where we think, bloody hell, this is just not what I'm wanting at the moment. And as a match-going fan, I'm sure a lot of you can appreciate that. But, yeah, for me, there is a number of things that are intriguing at the moment. Now, this is something that I guarantee you didn't expect. Chelsea are one of 3 Premier League clubs interested in Brighton striker Joao Pedro. Brighton are likely to demand a fee that far exceeds the £30 million they paid for him. This is according to Sam G. Dean of The Telegraph. Now, I haven't subscribed to The Telegraph, but I actually might do it because I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's coming out to do with that. Yeah, so I'll probably end up subscribing to that because then we can go through these stories in details, because I'm only getting little snippets of the quotes. I want to read the whole thing. I am subscribed to The Athletic. I don't know if The Athletic have... I don't know if they've got anything to do with this. I'll have a brief look. Yeah, The Athletic haven't talked about that. They've just spoken about analysing Chelsea's number 9 options in the absence of Nicholas Jackson. We'll probably go through that one tomorrow. Yeah, so nothing from The Athletic. But listen, for me, this is a player that it's just such a disappointing link. Like, don't kid yourself. I'm not saying he's a rubbish player. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, does it not underwhelm you that after trying this Brighton model, I just don't get it. Oh, man, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Why can't we just target some of the people that like? We've never heard this guy's name mentioned before. Have any of you heard Chelsea being linked with Joao Pedro in the past? I've never heard of it. So to hear it now is a bit of a shock to the system. He's a young player. He's 23 years old. He's Brazilian. He's a striker. Okay. Now, there are good things to that. Everybody knows this. But the thing is, it's such a reoccurring theme with Chelsea that even if he's a solid player, he's worth about 50 million euros in terms of market value. So what? That's about 40 million quid. I just don't see why is he the guy to change everything for us? Why is he the guy? Like, he's had an okay season. He's been all right. All right. And we can, we can look through that. I mean, we've got his stats in front. Here's his stats in the Premier League. Okay. 27 appearances, 10 goals, 6 assists, 4 yellow cards, 1 red card. In the cup, 3 appearances, 1 assist. Obviously, Brighton aren't playing in Europe, as we know. So, thanks. Nice cup of tea. Let's go. Look, these stats are pretty good. In fact, they're probably not too dissimilar to Nicholas Jackson. I think they're probably better than Nicholas Jackson. So, I mean, if you want to talk about upgrading on what we have, I mean, I'll double check, see what Jackson's stats are looking like. This season, yeah, Joao Pedro actually has better stats than Jackson in the Premier League. He actually has better stats. He has played 27 times. He's got 16 GA, and Jackson's played 30 times. And he has 15 GA. Like Father, who I'm sure you've watched on the channel. What does he say? 2 cheeks of the same ass. It's just same old, isn't it? It's same old. So Fielder says he'd take him over Delap. I don't know. I don't know if I'd take Joao Pedro over Delap. Listen, he's a good player. He causes some problems, and the profile is okay. But I think that what we need is a player who offers something completely and totally different. Okay, we need someone who has box presence, someone who is going to cause problems, someone who can link up well, someone with pace who can counter, but can also, as we've already said, cause issues when we have set pieces, etc. And I just think that Delap would be good for that. Now, there are question marks in terms of, the system. We know that Delap is a player who thrives in counter-attacking system, which is what Ipswich do. But I don't want to spend an extra 10 million if that means we're getting Joao Pedro over Delap. I'd rather just spend 30 and be done with it, because I don't see enough of a step up in terms of that profile to justify the extra 10 million. Now, we also have Benjamin Sesko, another player that is being linked with the club at the moment. The only thing is with Sesko is the fee that's being quoted is significantly higher. That's about 67 million pounds, 80 million euros. That's the release clause. Also, I've seen. So I've always been an advocate of getting Delap. I've never had a problem with it. I have a problem with it if you get the opportunity to bring in Victor Osimhen and you choose not to do that. I think that makes perfect sense. But I don't have a problem with getting Delap if you're not able to get Osimhen. If that deal was off the table, if you've tried and failed, at least you've tried. If you're choosing the cheaper option just for that sake, then I think it's wrong. I think that you've got to go, and getting a top striker will make you back money. If we were in the Champions League this season, we've already seen like the numbers that you're able to generate, especially with the new system. You're going to make a lot more money in the new UEFA League format. This is exactly why they changed it, was to make it more profitable for clubs, because they're trying to spend more, wages are going up. You're having to build bigger squads as well because of the increased amount of fixtures. Champions League and Europa League sides both have to play an extra 2 games in the league phase as opposed to Conference League. That's where we're lucky. We only had 6 games in the group stages, whereas in the Champions League, you've got 8. So you've got to compensate for the amount of games you've got to play. But again, don't just put bums on seats. Can we have some serious quality that we can look at and say, well, this is going to bring something to Chelsea. This is going to help us. And that's where I don't, if you bring in another striker with Joao Pedro, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a disgrace, because you are bringing in a striker, but this guy's numbers aren't that different from Nicholas Jackson. Slightly better. Very minimal. So I'm just, I just don't really know what to make of it. This is from Nizar Kinsella as well. He says, although Chelsea have trended towards younger signings, older players at a world-class level with potential to add to the squad in other ways will also be considered. The thing is, he says considered. We've considered a lot of things. But just because you consider something doesn't mean it's going to happen. So I look at that, and I do just think it's a load of rubbish. Like, we're not seeing we haven't seen a willingness under Clear Lake's ownership to, what's the word? To sign experienced players on higher wages. You haven't seen that willingness. So why would that change? Why would they change their model now? I don't know. But there are names out there. There's other names. I mean, my 2, if I wasn't getting Victor Osimhen, I've said that there's 2 strikers I would take. And this is really good business if you get both of them. But it's only good if you get both. If you get one of them, it's still underwhelming. Another player, look, this is according to the BBC, in demand striker Jonathan David to leave Lille this summer. He helped them reach the knockout stage of the Champions League this season. Canada striker Jonathan David has said he will leave Lille this summer amid links to several Premier League clubs. The 25-year-old will depart the French side at the end of the current season when his contract expires. He said every story has a beginning and an end. The forward said in a video posted on his Instagram page, I wanted to tell you myself that after many years at the club, it's time for me to say goodbye. It comes amid David being touted for a move to several clubs across Europe, including in England. Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United and West Ham have all shown a reported interest in the player because of his form in Ligue 1. David has scored 109 goals in 231 games for Lille, including 25 in 48 appearances this season. Having joined from Belgian club Ghent in 2020, David helped Lille beat PSG to the French title. He is set to play his last game for Lille in their final Ligue 1 match of the season against Rennes on Saturday. So, look, these are good numbers. 25 and 48 is all right. It's okay. And actually, one of the things that's important to look at is who are those goals against? Where did he score those goals? He scored a number of goals in the Champions League. This is not just in France. He scored a lot of goals in Europe against Real Madrid, if I'm not wrong, and against some other big sides as well. So this is a player who knows how to score at the elite level. You can call it whatever you want. I'm not sitting here saying he is the next Diego Costa at Chelsea, but I am saying I think he can bring something to the team. I do think he could bring something. This is a player I personally would want alongside Delap. And from a business perspective, that's 30 million and a freebie. So you're telling me you pay 30 million, you get a young up-and-coming striker who offers something different with Delap, physicality, ability to counter, pace, complements Jackson in that sense. He has different qualities, doesn't he? And then you have a goal scorer who's very reputable in France, a league where generally players come over from France and perform in England. Now, I mean, if we're talking about Paddy Ashil and Disassi at Chelsea, maybe that's one thing, but you know what I mean? The physicality is there. I think that he would be able to adapt. I'm not sitting here saying I know, but he's a good player. He's a player that's capable of playing for a top team. We're not challenging for a Premier League title, are we? We're literally talking about, can we make Champions League? So this is a player who's definitely going to cement that level. He would put us a level above where we are. Jonathan David is no Osimhen, though. I mean, Osimhen takes us to a different level. This club will get a striker who fits the model, and we will not improve on whatever position we finish this season. Next season will be dead, and the manager will be sacked. David is good, but he's short. He will fit in Neto's crosses. Visser from Brighton, Brentford as well. I mean, these are all good options, guys. These are good options. I like Visser. When he come on against us in the draw we had recently, I thought he was fantastic. I thought he made a big impact. Caused us a lot of issues. So that is what's going on with regards to Jonathan David. This is a funny one. I mean, this is fucking jokes. Look at this. According to is it a Turkish source? Yes, it is a Turkish source. Chelsea winger Raheem Sterling has emerged as a potential transfer target for Fenerbahce. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? TurkishFootball.com. Fenerbahce eyes Chelsea star amidst the Mourinho speculation. Following a recent dip in form that has seen them fall 8 points behind the Super League leaders Galatasaray, Fenerbahce is reportedly actively pursuing transfer targets for the upcoming season. While speculation around the future of current coach Jose Mourinho continues, the club is pressing ahead with plans to bolster its squad. According to reports in Fanatic, Chelsea winger Raheem Sterling has emerged as a potential target for Fenerbahce. The 30-year-old England international, who was previously linked with Fenerbahce, has reportedly been offered to the club by intermediaries. Doesn't surprise me at all, to be fair. Sterling is widely expected to depart Stamford Bridge at the end of the current campaign. Sources suggest that Mourinho is keen on bringing the experienced winger to Istanbul. Sterling is valued at approximately 15 million and has a contract with Chelsea until 2027. This season, he has featured in 27 matches for, it says the Blues. I'm not sure how good this source is. He's not playing for the Blues, guys. I'm guessing that means Arsenal. Scoring 1 goal and providing 5 assists. Yeah, so I don't know. Who's going to pay that guy's wages? Who's going to pay Sterling wages? You think Clearlake are going to continue? Well, I mean, they'll get rid of him to save whatever they can. If they can save 100 grand and they've still got 225 grand in their books like they have this season, it's still a net positive. If you look at the fact that a player, he's not going to feature for us anyway. He's got no interest. We've already kicked him out. Save as much money as you can. I guess when you look at realistic options, I see a comment from Brad's dad. He says Sterling will be off to the MLS. I mean, that's a realistic option. Also, the Saudi League. I mean, that's another realistic option. I don't think Fenerbahce can afford the wages. So that's where I question this deal, because it doesn't make any sense. Thoughts on Enzo to Madrid links? I think it's nonsense, mate. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I think it's nonsense. So, no, I don't think they're going to sell him. I don't think they're going to consider selling him. I don't even think Madrid They haven't put a bid in. There's been nothing official on that side. There are other players out there. I mean, Fernandez is a top player. I mean, we've seen this season how he's progressed. I think alongside Cucurella and Caicedo, he's probably the third most improved player this season. Actually, you could argue the most improved, considering his form last year and how he's bounced back. When I look at Cucurella and Caicedo last season, I was happy with them anyway. And I think they fit what Poch was doing. Never really clicked with Pochettino and Fernandez. For whatever reason, it didn't work. He had a hernia as well. He was injured. These are all factors to be considered. But yeah, under Enzo Maresca, no doubt that he's improved. He looks himself. He looks comfortable. In fact, he looks like a new version of himself. We've always seen Fernandez as a deep-lying sort of playmaker, filling that Jorginho role. I mean, he was a direct replacement for Jorginho. When we signed him, Jorginho was immediately flipped off to Arsenal. So that was the position he was, quote-unquote, supposed to play. But coming into the box, scoring goals, creating, and almost being in that number 8, number 10 position, I think that's a testament to him. That's a testament to the manager. I mean, the manager certainly helped him there. We can never deny that Maresca's helped Enzo Fernandez improve. I mean, we can all agree on that. My issue is that, can you say that for everyone else? But it's all opinion, isn't it? We'll have to go through it in detail at the end of the season. Yeah, Madrid get all their players on free. It's true. Absolutely. Would you rather sell him to keep and play Santos? No, I would keep him and I'd play Santos. What we have to understand, guys, right now, we are not a top team. Okay, we are not a top team right now. We are not a team that looks like they are particularly ambitious short term. We are not a team that gels particularly well at the moment. We're not a team with many big names, as in ready-made signings, right? We've got Palmer. We built him up ourselves. We've got other players. You know, you've got Caicedo, you've got Fernandez. We have a couple. That's true. But if you're a top team, which we're trying to be, it should not be unusual to have players like Santos and Enzo Fernandez competing for the starting position at Chelsea or rotating, because we spoke about Champions League earlier. You're going to have a lot of games. And I would like to think that next season we'll take our domestic cup seriously. That's been one of the biggest letdowns of this season. Even last year, we took the cup serious. And people go, well, we had easy runs, but we did it. We did it. People go, well, you know, why would you care about anything if we're getting the results? Okay, well, let's use that logic. If we can progress in the cups, if we take those competitions seriously, we will need every player that we can get in that midfield. There will be so much rotation. It's got to be. It's got to be heavy. Players are going to get injured next year, guys. But they always do, because the workload is so high. I mean, I'm actually in favor of the players protesting against the amount of minutes they're being asked to play in certain competitions. I'm all for it, because I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think it's sustainable to be able to play to the highest level when you're playing every 3 or 4 days. I think, you know, and you don't have a break. You look at the Club World Cup. I think these are all factors. But yes, I would keep Santos. I would keep Fernandez, and I think they'd both be happy. No doubt in my mind. Yeah, he's definitely not going to Arsenal, that's for sure. Santos is not going to Arsenal. I mean, anyone that believes that, I don't know where. Well, I know there's sources out there, but come on. We have. I'm not saying that Chelsea we're run by Americans, aren't we? But I do think we have some morals in the sense that they're just a competitor. Like, I don't think they care about the fact that it's Arsenal, but they're probably thinking, why would we sell one of our better players to our direct rivals for a title race next season if we sign well, or top 4, whatever it is. Also, something a little bit different, which I don't know much about, but it's always good to stay on top of is Graham Bailey, who I've heard lots from in recent days. He says, I am told that Blueco has secured the signing of Egan Riley, has put pen to paper on a 5-year deal. He will join Strasbourg, but this is a deal done with the intention that he could very well end up at Stamford Bridge. Said every single player that ever signed for Strasbourg since Chelsea took over. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot to go through with that. He plays for Burnley. He's obviously an okay player. I don't have anything against the signing. I don't really know anything about him. What else have we got? What else have we got, people? There's a lot going on today. Oh, this is another one. Yeah. Goodness, can you believe this? So this is an interesting one. Serena Williams' husband, Alexis Ohanian, has bought a 10% stake in Chelsea Women FC. For those of you who don't know who Serena Williams is, she is arguably the greatest women's tennis player of all time. She's won the most Grand Slams, if I'm not wrong. And her husband was the guy that founded Reddit. So he has put a significant amount of money into the Chelsea women's team. This is an article by The Times. It says Serena Williams' husband buys a stake in Chelsea. Oh, fucking hell, mate. I've got to subscribe to all of these things. Buys a stake in Chelsea Women for £20 million. And he is set to attend Chelsea's Sunday's Women's FA Cup final at Wembley with Serena Williams as well. They will both be there. And this is something as well that come out. Ben Jacobs was speaking about this. He was talking about the fact that of the amount that's been invested by this particular individual and what that means for the value of the women's sale, because we obviously sold the women's team to ourselves. Ben Jacobs says, worth noting that Ohanian's club valuation is slightly higher than Chelsea's own 200 million number. This will help Chelsea's cause in getting Premier League approval after selling the women's team to Blueco 22. So what this means is that, obviously this is something that's going to be disputed, right? And they just need to prove that the value is actually there for what they sold it for. And the fact that he's put 20 million in to the club for a 10% valuation, I think that basically seals the deal. Someone else has put their own money in and they value it at that. And that is, there's not much more you can do to prove a valuation. Yeah, you could say, well, it's only potential, but he values it at that. And I think that will certainly help the cause. This has been a massive issue with UEFA because they're not having it. They're not letting us do it, which is why we're going to have some issues with UEFA. I mean, there's been talks about being fined. PSG were fined at one point. It wasn't even a lot of money. It was like 10 million. So we're not sitting here saying we're going to be banned, but that's something that I have heard being brought up. But I don't think that. If we're in such a dire financial situation, that's obviously not good. Yes. Real Madrid have obviously agreed a fee for Dean Huijsen as well. So I think it is fair to say that he will not be signing for Chelsea. The fact that this is agreed, he's Spanish, he's young. Real Madrid's the biggest. They're the biggest club in the world, aren't they? Let's not even. Don't even entertain the conversation of Chelsea beating Madrid for this guy. Maybe under an Abramovich era, it could have been done. Yeah, we're not we're not being Madrid. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. This is not a Havertz 2.0 deal where, you are still an attractive winning club. We have not won a trophy since Clearlake have taken over. I have nothing but the utmost. Fair enough, isn't it? If we lost out to Arsenal or Liverpool, I'd have been like, shit, it's Real Madrid. They've sent a formal contract proposal to Dean Huijsen and his camp today. Talks on going to sign the Spanish centre-back. That's according to Fabrizio Romano. That is such a shame because this man, he would have helped us a lot. He would have helped us. I didn't just want Dean Huijsen, just like I don't just want Delap. For me, you signed 4 players in those positions, maybe even 5 if you include an extra centre-back. And you get Huijsen, Gurhi, Jonathan Tah. Those are the 3 players I bring in. 40 million for Gurhi, 50 million for Huijsen. You get Jonathan Tah on a free. You give him a nice wage. You sell Tosin for a profit, 15 to 20 million, which justifies why you bring in Jonathan Tah, older, more experienced, proven winner, better player, and still has the height as well that you would have had with Tosin. Alex, my daughter is starting to get into tennis. She's 13. Is she starting too late? No. I mean, I wouldn't say she's starting too late. I mean, it's later than a lot of people, but depends how much you play, really. I mean, if you play regularly, you can still probably become a really top player, even if you start at that age. But, I mean, I'm talking playing a lot. If she's just playing at club level, then she'll still improve, definitely. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Keep it up. Keep playing tennis, guys. People are probably wondering why that question is in the chat. For those of you who don't know, Chelsea Fan TV is not my full-time job. I'm a tennis coach. So that's why the question is there. Oh, really? Yes, Serena Williams was in the consortium with Hamilton who wanted to buy Chelsea. I completely forgot that. So, yeah. In terms of Dean Huijsen, this is a deal that I don't think is going to go very far. I don't see anything happening from Chelsea's side. I think it's done. Madrid, yeah, pick up the phone. Happy to pay the 50 million. No problem. Yeah, contract. There you go. What do you think he's going to do? Say no and sign for us? Come on. So, fair play to the man. You are literally signing for the best team in the world. Honestly, no hard feelings. Not even surprised. Not even surprised. But it is a bit, we used to compete for these players, man. We used to be right in the mix. And now we're looking at these guys and we're like, why would they sign for us over some of these other teams? Same with Jonathan Tah. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of leeway, a lot of headway that's been made with Bayern Munich for him. In terms of contract, everything's agreed. They just need the players' thumbs up. So, yeah, real shame with regards to Dean Huijsen. But, hey, listen. Yeah, Rudiger could come back to us. So, I mean, if that's a deal that we could make happen, but if he was willing to drop his wages to still come to Chelsea, I mean, I'm all for it. I think he's a player that would benefit us. And he can play in this type of system. He's played under Maurizio Sarri. I was a big fan of Rudiger under Sarri. That pairing between him and David Luiz, that was our best pairing. So, yeah, perfectly capable of playing in this type of system. Brings us a little bit of leadership, a little bit of a culture shift, him coming into the dressing room. But I think we need more than a little bit of a culture shift. We need a mentality that can stick on these younger players because they don't know what to look for, what to expect. They're just looking at each other and learning on the job, just like our manager. He's not done it. So that's it. Bayern formally proposed Jonathan Tah has been approved internally, the club's salary included. Thank you for that. Thanks for the kind message as well, Martin. I appreciate it. We did get Caicedo and Lavia over Liverpool. That's absolutely right. But I suppose my point is that when that happened, people were still under the illusion that this project could be successful because we'd only had, 1 year. And now we're in year 3, going into year 4, and we still haven't won anything. So I think that people are starting to find us out. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that we're a disaster and a disgrace. There's an argument to be had about that. I mean, there are some fans that still believe that. When I'm emotional after a game and I think that, like, what are we doing here? That there are games where I feel like that. But I think ultimately we're just a club that have totally neglected the short term, and we're okay with it. The club is okay with it. They're not really that bothered. I mean, they want Champions League, but they're not going to sack the manager over it. So they can't be that bothered by it. It's a kick in the teeth, but they'll still go again next season. Everyone will have their job. Yeah, when Madrid comes knocking, it's over. So it's not an easy one. But I'd rather lose out to Real Madrid than Tottenham or Arsenal or Liverpool. So there is a positive in that sense. Moving on, another Fabrizio Romano post regarding Joao Felix. He will leave Milan and return to Chelsea. Surprise, surprise. Nobody is shocked. This guy has underperformed at another club. I'm sorry, but this guy, it's a shame. I mean, we should have never sent him out. I think that he was mismanaged. I'm not saying he's the best player in the world. I've been extremely disappointed with what I've seen from Joao Felix, but I've been extremely disappointed with the lack of minutes he's had as well from a Chelsea perspective. And I think that if Maresca would have done him the courtesy of playing him other games, apart from the 3 relegation teams, because those are literally the only teams he played against, you could have said, oh, okay, he's playing against a mid-table side. See what he does. Maybe he'll do something. And if he doesn't, okay, you can justify dropping him. The fact that he was never even given that opportunity, I always felt was just a little bit unjust. But you're not going to play him ahead of Palmer. I accept that. But my argument, again, this season has been just play Palmer on the right, and you would have had space for Joao Felix, for Christopher Nkunku, and for Chukwuemeka as well, potentially, who I'm a massive fan of. And those are all players that could have helped us. We'll never know now because of the situation we're in, but those are all players that could have offered us something. And potentially we could have been in a position of just a little bit more stability. Those 3 players, we're not saying that, well, actually, Nkunku is a world-class player when he's at his best. But, we don't know how to utilize that, and that's fine. That is a manager's problem, by the way, because Nkunku will go to another club and perform. So that's a Maresca issue. Joao Felix is also a Maresca issue, but that's more on the player as well, in my opinion, because of his attitude. Now, people saying Nkunku's got a poor attitude. I agree now, but nobody ever said this before. So why is it that it's only just started happening with Maresca? That would be my argument for that. And then Chukwuemeka, I think, is just good enough. I don't know why we want to sell him so badly. I do know why, because we want the profit, but can't we just look at the footballing side and say this is a great player who's going to improve Chelsea and it's fun to watch and he's got good attributes? Can't we just do that? Obviously not. So they'll look to sell Chukwuemeka, but they won't be able to. So I hope he can stay part of our squad. I really do. Joao Felix to Turkey or the MLS or Benfica? Yes. I mean, if he's going to have a permanent move, the only place that it will happen this season would be the MLS. They're the only ones that would be willing to spend that kind of money. Even still, I don't think they'd spend that much. Maybe 40 mil. We'd accept that because we wouldn't be losing money because we got a loan fee. And we get his wages off the books. Turkey would be a loan. Benfica would be a loan. Both of them with an option to buy. In an ideal world, if you're just looking at loan fees and getting his wages off the books, hopefully increasing his value, you'd probably say a 2-year loan with an option to buy either season. Just keep him away, really. I mean, this is a player who doesn't have any loyalty to any club, let alone Chelsea. He kisses every single badge he's at. I'm not saying he's Lukaku, but yeah, not really. The character. Yeah, Alex, you are. We missed a 10. Christopher was horrific. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. Just give me some context, please. He will bring the shirt money to the Wazoo. The MLS will love him. They probably will, and he'd love America, to be fair. Alex, have you seen United and Spurs fans complaining about the prices of tickets for the final and Vivid seats and blaming Todd Bowley? No, I have not seen that. But it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. You'll always have complaints over tickets. This is modern football for you people. This is the way that it's going now. If you don't want to go to games, you'll still pay a hefty price in terms of TV subscriptions, but it'll be much cheaper than actually going to the stadium itself. So that is a decision for you to make on your own. Me personally, if I had to get a ticket on Vivid seats for a cup final, I mean, how much am I paying? I mean, 200 quid? I'd probably go up to about 200-300 quid. It's a lot of money. I don't make that much money, but it's a cup final. So I think people are willing to just accept that they're going to have to pay a little bit more. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right. Do you think the long injury is why Nkunku no longer plays at the same level? No, I think it's got nothing to do with that injury. I think it's to do with the management of and the system. I don't think he suits the system, and I don't think that Maresca likes him. And that's the main reason. I think because of his defensive work rate, which is poor and always has been poor, I think that's why Maresca doesn't like him. But on the ball, in terms of a goal scoring, player, he's up there with Palmer in terms of finishing. He is undoubtedly the most proven player in this squad based on what he's achieved in his career. I'm trying to think of a more proven player. Maybe, well, James at his best is obviously very proven. Yeah, I mean, the guy's proven himself over a number of years, so you can't really doubt Nkunku in that sense. He said, I meant Felix and Chukwuemeka could have done a better job than Christo. I would say yes to Chukwuemeka. I would say no to Felix, because Felix just doesn't have the ability to put the ball in the back of the net consistently, and he's just a very inconsistent player to watch. So that's my opinion on that. Hey, we'll see what happens. But I do agree Chukwuemeka would be great if he's fit. But I don't think Felix is better than Nkunku, even when he's fully fit. Right. Chelsea's main socks for the 25-26 season will be white. Blue socks are an alternative offering. We got loads coming out, guys. This is the new kit, apparently. Let's have a little. Can we zoom in on that? I think it looks all right, to be fair. I don't think it's the best kit. I don't think. Is it better than this season? Probably not. I don't know. This season's kit, I saw it at first and I was like, that's rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. But the more I looked at it, especially during pre-season, the more I was like, oh, I quite like this shirt, actually. This one, it looks all right. It looks all right. You know what? I think with any kit, you need to look at it a few times sometimes to know if you really like. I need to see the players wearing the shirt to know if I like it or not. But like with any shirt, you just look back on it and you go, did we have a good season? You don't go around wearing the shirt from Potter's season and thinking, oh, what a great time that was. You don't see many people doing that. There are people that do it, but generally you'll just wear shirts where you've had success. And that's the way we judge the shirts, isn't it? Get the retro logo back. Yeah, It's true. What do you think about Newcastle changing their logo as well, guys? I'm surprised that they want to change the logo. I think they've got a good one, so I don't see why they need to change it, but they're obviously rebranding. Oh, for fuck's sake, mate. Several teams are asking about Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson. It is not ruled out that the English club will consider a possible exit if the offer is satisfactory. Well, there you go. Some of the seats are ranging from 700 to 10K just for a seat. Doesn't surprise me. Again, does not. Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. you have Cucurella, Enzo, Hannah Hampton, and Nuskin in the Megastore doing a meet and greet and signing shirts. Well, unfortunately, I will be working at that time. I work in the evenings, which is why I do such late streams, because I tend to start work around 3-ish and finish around 9-ish. And then I'll do stuff around that because I'm pretty flexible. So I don't think I'll be able to go to that. But if anyone wants to go, there you go. Tom has given you some information there. What else is there? What else is there? I mean, there's quite a lot, guys. There's a lot of juice going on today. I'll be honest. This is the most news I've gone through in one day in a long time. I mean, look at this. Chelsea's list of centre-backs in case they miss out on Dean Huijsen. And these are realistic options because we are missing out on Dean Huijsen. This is according to Jacob Steinberg, who we've seen plenty on. He works for The Guardian. Jorel Hato, we've seen, is a centre-back for Ajax. Mark Gurhey from Crystal Palace and Everton's Jared Brathwaite as well. So let me know out of those three if there's anyone that intrigues you. And then we've got to talk about prices as well. We already know Gurhey's about 40 million roughly. Hato would probably be slightly cheaper. I think it's around 30. Brathwaite, I can imagine, would be significantly more expensive. I mean, United, when they tried to send him, they wanted, 70 million or something like that. I wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't pay 70 million. That's too much. Who do I want as a striker on Friday? Well, not really sure. If Guiu was fit, that would be a no-brainer, but we haven't got a proper striker available. So I'd probably be leaning more towards Neto, just because it's worked in the past. It's been an okay solution, but it's not ideal. Jackson's let us down. And I feel extremely let down by Jackson. I think he's absolutely bottled it. Whenever you talk about Jackson, you talk about this season, and I think it's a letdown. Because if you're not there until the end, and it's got nothing to do with injury, it's to do with the fact that you don't have any discipline. And we've spoken about Jackson's discipline a number of times anyway. He accumulates a lot of yellow cards. I just think, it's just poor, isn't it? So no defending that. For me, that's the indefensible. People are saying I should call in sick to go to the event. Guys, I am self-employed. If I don't work, I don't get paid. So unfortunately, I will not be calling in sick. I've got to save up for Poland. I've got to save up for America. And I'm going to Greece. But that's for leisure, not football. So I have lots of trips lined up. I need to get saving. So, unfortunately, I won't be missing any work. God, there's a lot of stuff going on. Petrovic as well is attracting a lot of interest as well. My goodness. There's a lot of people. There is an awful lot. I'll tell you what, on the lunch show tomorrow, we've got to go through more of this as well. I know Nina and Charlie, I think, will be on the lunch show together. It's crazy. There's an awful lot going on. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We've got almost 100 of you in the building. I don't know how many likes we're on. I'm going to have a quick look now. Let's see if we can get straight up to 75 likes on the video. We've got 50 as it stands. Let's get up to 75 likes. Smash that like button. It means a lot. Doesn't cost anything as well. And it shows me that you're enjoying the videos. And of course, irrespective of whether you like it, I'm still going to be making those videos. But it is appreciated. Gurhi, I agree with you, Martin. He does look like a solid option. George up front is another option that I can consider. We just haven't seen it much. We haven't seen it against top teams. But then we're talking about United here. Maybe we could get away with it. So who knows? Who knows? But listen, big up to everyone. Really appreciate your time, guys. Smash that like button before we leave. I'm going to wrap it up there now. I'll push through. I didn't feel great, but I feel better having done the stream now, and I'm glad to say hello to all of you. And there will be much more coming out tomorrow. We'll have some more stuff to go through as well. Big up to everyone, and we will catch up very, very soon.